Good morning, everyone. This is Loving and Living Life. And this morning, I'm going to talk to you about consistency. Consistency and getting to, this morning, I'm just going to walk around and do my job and get ready. I ran a little late this morning. So this morning, I'm going to talk to you while I set up for my job this morning. And I know that for many, being consistent is one of the hardest jobs for many to do, in just being persistent, especially when you do not see the numbers, especially if you do not see the reward, or you do not see that it is moving along the way you feel it should be moving. Sometimes some things just move slower. Sometimes I believe I should have 100 followers right now. But do I? No. But I got to just stay consistent to what I'm doing and what I believe I am called to do. Do you stop? No. You have to keep pushing. You have to keep driving yourself and not be driven by the numbers, but driven based upon your passions, based upon your dreams, based upon what is your motivation? Why do you do what you do? That's what you have to base your motivations on. Based upon who are you trying to help? What are your motivations behind what are you doing? Why are you doing what you do? So, in staying persistent, you have to stay consistent. That means every day you have to get up and you have to go out and go to work. A lot of people, they say they want that promotion, they want that job, they want that, they can't understand why Susie got that promotion, but Susie got up at 4 o'clock in the morning and she's more than on time, she's before time, and she's working hard, and she's getting her paperwork in, and she's being consistent, and she's making her quota, and she's more than making her quota, and she's grinding, and she's going to work. And not only that, she's still not talking about some other things that she's doing behind the scenes. Behind the scenes, she's going to school, she's taking some courses and some classes, and she's not telling everybody that she's preparing herself for a supervisory role. You guys think that she's just sitting at a desk, punching in some numbers, and she may laugh with you, she may talk with you, she may be sipping on some coffee, but in the meantime, she's grinding after work. She's pursuing her dreams. She's being consistent on her job. She's being persistent in her own personal life. She's pushing, she's driving in order to be consistent and persistent in her own life, in her own pursuit of her own dreams. But sometimes we hate and say, oh, it's because of this. Oh, she's a brown noser. Oh, she's this and she's that. But in the meantime, we don't know what she did really in order to get to where she got to. We don't know what she did. We just assume that she got to where she got to, she slept her way up to the top. We just assume that. But we really don't know what she did. Do you really know what she did? Do you really know what Susie did, or what Barbara did, or which one? Do you really know? Some people grind, they work, they get up, they work 8, 10, 9, 12 hours a day. They're behind the scenes, they're doing different things. Doing different paperwork, doing extra things that you do not see. You don't know what they're doing on their computer. You don't know what they're doing. What are you doing to pursue your dreams? Are you being persistent? Are you being consistent? So you can't hate. You can't do that. It's like, I come to my job every single day. I can't hate where if I want what my boss has, I have to work towards it. But in the meantime, I grind for her. But I grind for that paper, for that paycheck. But I don't get it twisted. Because I know that I cannot grow but so much here. It is what it is right here. But I got my plan in motion. There's certain things that I'm setting up for myself for 2021. Next year, I will not be here. My plan is in motion. I'm grinding. After hours, I'm grinding. When they see me writing, when they see me typing, I got my laptop and I'm doing what I'm doing. See, they don't know everything that I'm doing because I don't talk about everything that I'm doing. They may see this video and say, oh, Rose is doing some extra stuff. But, hey, I'm always transparent. If they ask me, I tell them. I'm always transparent about what I'm doing. When I come here, I give this woman 100% of my time. I grind for her. I told her yesterday, I said, oh, honey, you got the butter out the cow. That means that she got more than 100% out of me yesterday because we were shorthanded. We were shorthanded, and I worked for her yesterday, and I did not complain yesterday. I got up. I did my job. I didn't complain to her. I worked. And when it was time for me to go home, I said, see you later, alligator, after a while, crocodile. And I left. See you tomorrow. Have a blessed day. Have a good evening. Bye. But I worked and I was exhausted. But that's the way that it is. So we have to get to the point that if we want something, if you want something bad enough, what plans are you making? How are you being consistent? How are you being persistent in order for you to reach your dreams? See, I started this YouTube channel thinking I was going to talk about my move to Africa, but I think that it's morphed into something different. Not that I don't have my aspirations and dreams in doing that, because I do believe that that's my ultimate goal. But I'm here to inspire someone else as I inspire myself. Because I always wanted to own my own, be my own, get my own. But something has always held me back, some kind of fear. A fear that I can't do it. I don't know how to do it. I've always been reaching and grabbing towards someone else to help me figure it out. Now, I done figured out, no, if I want it, I got to figure it out on my own. I got to be persistent. I got to be consistent. And now I know that I can do it. I can do it. I can do it. And as I go through this transition, I'm trying to share with you that you too can do it. You can do it. You can do it if you want to do it. If you set your goals, if you start writing it out, if you be persistent, if you're consistent in your daily job and whatever you decide to do, you too can do whatever you decide to do. You can do it. So that's the word for today. How to be persistent. How to be consistent. Just like with anything, every day I come on this YouTube channel and I said to myself, well, I start thinking about it the day before. What would the topic be for tomorrow? What will I talk about tomorrow? And certain things will start swirling around. And today I said persistency. Being consistent. Being persistent. Consistent every day. Making time. So what do I do? What do I personally do in being consistent? Every day I make time to develop my business. That means if I'm not doing my business, physically doing my business, I'm writing out thoughts about my business. I have a journal about my business. I'm always writing. I'm always researching. I'm always trying to find vendors. I'm always studying, reading. You have to educate yourself about whatever you're trying to do. You have to educate yourself. No nurse, no doctor, no lawyer has ever gotten their degree or license or certification in anything. They just didn't hop up and say, I'm a nurse today. No, what did they do? They went to school for it. Anything you want to do, whether it's a nutritionist, whether it's you want to be a child care worker, whether you want to be a well digger. I mean, even they have to go to school. Even they have to learn how to dig a well. Whether you want to be a farmer. Whatever you may want to do, you have to figure that out. You have to figure that out. But you have to study it. You have to know it. You have to know what you're talking about. You have to know what you are or what you're going to do. You have to know. You have to know. Sorry about all the noise. I told you I had to prepare. I'm running a little late this morning, but I'm still going to be consistent, and I'm still going to be persistent about what I've decided to do. And if I don't do this video in the morning time, it will not get done. That's how busy my day is. That's how busy my day is. I have to allot my day out as to what I do and when I do it. And this is when I allot my day to do my YouTube. But you have to figure out, and you have to plan, and you have to educate yourself on whatever you decide to do. You have to read. You have to develop yourself. And I know a lot of people, they say, well, I don't really like to read. I don't really like to study. I don't like to research. But if you never study, you never read, then how are you going to get into the field, or how are you going to accomplish your goal? You have to read. You have to study. You have to do what you need to do in order for you to understand your field, regardless of what it is. I don't care if it's hair. I don't care if it's nails. I mean, in any profession, there's a technique. In any profession, you have to understand what you're doing. It don't make a difference. And then you have to stay persistent. Every day, you have to stay, you have to go towards that goal. Not one day should go by where it's almost like it has to become an obsession of yours. It's got to be like, I'm hungry for it. I'm hungry for it. It got to be something that you eat, live, breathe for. And I know some people say, it don't take all that. But it should take all that. It should take all that if you want to be successful at it. If you want it, how bad do you want it? How bad do you want it? How bad? Hey, listen, I've worked for people all my life. And I'm telling you, I want to be free from underneath working for other people. I want to be my own boss. If I'm going to slave for somebody, I want to slave for myself. If I'm going to work 8, 9, 10 hours a day for somebody, I want to work 8, 9, 10 hours for myself. And matter of fact, I go home and take work and prepare lessons and talk about what I'm going to do for the next day. So I work more than my allotted hours that I work here. And guess what? I take care of babies. I do a curriculum for them. 3-year-olds. And my day does not end when I leave here. So if I'm thinking about them when I go home, and I still got to look up stuff, and I still got to figure out, because I just don't go and, I prepare a curriculum. I do something with them every week. We do a STEM program. Some of y'all probably don't even know what that is, but we do a programming where I work at, and when I go home, I just don't sit down. I'm always thinking about what I need to do for them, because I take my job seriously. In the education of small children, seriously, I believe that it starts as soon as they hit the early childhood, the early child care educational system. Education starts at infancy. It doesn't start when they hit 5 years old and they hit kindergarten. It starts at infancy. We start teaching them. We start working on their social emotional skills. We start working on their gross motor skills. We start working on their fine motor skills. How to communicate, all kind of things I can get into. It's just not wiping your nose. It's just not feeding and burping you. It's just not changing your diaper. It's just not that. Early child care educational workers, we do more than just that. During this pandemic, they figured out we're more than, we're essential. We've been knew we were essential. But now we're appreciated. And we thank everyone for now knowing that we're essential now. We're appreciated. We were missed during the pandemic. Now we got some importance in this world. Before, people didn't think much about a child care worker. They didn't. But back to what I was saying. You have to, whatever you decide to do, you have to be consistent. Every day you have to work towards your goal, and you have to be persistent. If you want it, you got to go after it. You got to have a drive. You have to have a drive. You have to go after it. And you can't give up on it. Don't give up. Do not give up. Don't give up. If you give up, you never know where you could be. If you're 25, if you're 21, if you're 18, if you're 19, and you figure it out, right then at that age, oh my goodness, the world is your oyster. But if you're 51 or you're 50, you're 49, if you're 30, hey, you still, the world is still your oyster. We can still take it. You can still do it. And you can still make a legacy. have a heritage for your children and for your grandchildren. So, I'm going to go ahead and end my video. And remember, love living your life, because it's the only one you got. Hey, embrace you. And I'm always going to say it, because no one never really told me growing up, love the melanin in your skin. Love who God has created you to be. Love it. Love it. And have a wonderful day. Peace and blessings.